I didn't think walking home 10 minutes after midnight was dangerous. I'd done it dozens of times. The only difference that night was that someone decided to follow me all the way to my building. And he didn't leave. Not for a very long time. I used to work late shifts at a restaurant downtown. I didn't own a car at the time, so I walked home after work. Every night, same routine, same quiet, predictable walk. 2 main streets, then a quieter residential block. It usually took about 10 minutes, maybe less if I was tired or moved quickly. It wasn't the safest part of the city, but it wasn't the worst either. People were always coming and going at odd hours. I kept headphones on most night, but I wasn't playing music loud. I liked hearing what was around me. Cars in the distance, a stray cat running under a porch, someone locking up their shop. That habit is probably the only reason I noticed him before things got worse. If I'd been fully zoned out, I don't know how close he might have gotten before I realized. About halfway home, I heard footsteps behind me. At first, it didn't seem strange. It was a city. People walked at night all the time. But the rhythm matched mine too closely. When I slowed down slightly, the footsteps slowed. When I sped up, the pattern changed again, always syncing with me. A tight feeling settled in my stomach, like something inside me already knew this wasn't normal. I moved to the side to pretend I was tying my shoe and glanced back. He was about half a block away, standing still, looking in my direction, like he didn't care if I saw him. The second I stood up and started walking again, so did he. Same distance, same pace. That's when fear really set in, slow and cold, like water filling my chest. I crossed the street without looking back, trying to seem casual even though my heartbeat was pounding in my ears. A few seconds later, I heard his footsteps cross too. My mouth felt dry, my hands were already shaking, even though the night wasn't cold. I pulled out my phone and pretended to text while watching his reflection in a dark storefront window. He wasn't on his phone. He wasn't looking around. He was watching me. Directly. Openly, like I was the only thing on the street worth paying attention to. I picked up my pace. He matched it. It felt like he was studying every choice I made, deciding what he would do next. My building was 1 block away. That stretch of street suddenly felt much longer than it ever had. There were fewer lights, no cars passing, no late-night dog walkers. Just empty porches and dark windows. Every step felt loud, too loud, like I was announcing where I was with each footfall. I could hear him closer now. Still not running, just steady, deliberate. I kept thinking about what would happen if he grabbed me before I reached the door. I imagined his hands around my arm, someone dragging me somewhere no one could see. My chest felt tight. Breathing took effort. I told myself, stay calm, keep moving, don't run, don't panic, just make it to the door. I reached my building and fumbled with my keys. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped them once, and the metallic clatter felt deafening. I could hear his footsteps approaching, slow, steady, like the sound of someone who wasn't in a hurry. I didn't look back. I was afraid if I did, I'd freeze or scream or lose the few seconds I had left. I got the key in and I pulled the door open. I slipped inside and I shut it hard behind me. The lock clicked. For a second, I just stood there, listening. My breath held tight in my throat. His footsteps stopped right outside the door. So close, the floor seemed to hum with the weight of his presence. He didn't knock. He didn't try to handle. He just stood there. I couldn't see him, but I could feel it. The stillness on the other side of the door. I backed away slowly, trying not to make a noise, afraid even the smallest sound would draw him closer. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it echoed in the stairwell. In what felt like minutes, I heard a faint shift of weight, then footsteps moving away. I didn't believe it. I waited another 5 minutes before I moved, barely breathing the entire time. I went upstairs to my apartment and I turned off every light. From my window, I could see the entrance to the building, illuminated by a single buzzing street lamp. He was standing across the street, looking directly at the door. He didn't pace or check his phone or look around. He just stared, motionless. He stayed there for at least 10 minutes. I watched him the entire time, barely breathing, scared that if I blinked, he'd be closer somehow. Eventually, he walked away and disappeared around the corner. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. The next morning, I reported it to building management. They checked the security camera near the entrance. The footage showed him standing outside for almost 20 minutes after I went in. Just waiting. Not pacing, not leaving. Just waiting like he expected me to come back out. They never identified him. I started taking a different route home after that. And I stopped walking alone at night whenever I could. Because now I know. Sometimes danger isn't loud. Sometimes it just follows you home and waits outside your door.